What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. I am self-aware, diagnosed narcissist Lee Hammock, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about why I don't think you love the narcissist anymore. I think that you're just addicted to them. Stay tuned for more, like and subscribe for more. Thank you. I don't think you love the narcissist that you're dealing with anymore. And if you're new here, I'm a diagnosed narcissist, actually a narcissistic personality disorder. I can't leave them because I love them so much. It's the love that keeps us together. It just brings us back together no matter how bad it gets. I can't let go because I love them no matter how bad they treat me. That is not love, y'all. Love should not be painful. Love should not hurt like that. It's not love. That is an addiction. And an addiction to a person can be harder to kick than an addiction to a substance. Drugs cannot show up to your door, knock on your door, beg and plead for a second chance. Alcohol does not stalk you and harass you and keep calling and texting you and begging you and telling you that they love you. An addiction to a person is different, y'all. It seems like love. It feels like love sometimes, but the pain that's associated with it, this takes away the love. This takes away all the components of love. In order to get past a toxic relationship, you have to break the addiction. You have to break that trauma bond. So welcome back, y'all. Yeah, addiction is not love. Y'all saw the title of that video. Y'all saw the title of it right there. And I mean that. So many people get caught up in these toxic relationship dynamics, y'all, thinking that they keep going back into the toxicity because they think that they love the narcissistic person. They think that they care about the narcissistic or toxic person that they are with. They just like, oh, I can't leave them because I just love them so much. I just can't get rid of them because, you know, what if they do get better? What if they do go to therapy? Why do I keep going back into this toxicity if I know it's not going to get better? The love just draws me back. Why do I keep breaking no contact? I just love. I'm serious, y'all. I hear this on such a consistent basis that people think that they love the narcissistic person. Could it be a form of love? Possibly. But me personally, I think it's the trauma bond. It's like being addicted to the narcissistic person. And people don't, I don't think you can get addicted to a person. Like, Lee, how do you get addicted to a person? The hot and cold nature of a lot of these toxic relationships. Not every toxic relationship is going to be the same, but the hot and cold nature of a lot of these toxic relationships keep people in them. It keeps people confused. It keeps people going back and forth. It keeps people going up and down. It keeps people just like messing with their minds overall, y'all. I'm telling you, it's a very, very interesting and powerful dynamic to deal with. Like when you're dealing with the narcissistic, dealing with narcissistic people overall. Make sure I take that bag back, y'all. Sorry. Yeah. But it's not love, y'all. Me personally, y'all, you can disagree with me. I'm just talking from perspective. I don't think you love them anymore. And a lot of people are going to come on my page, well, yeah, Lee, it is love. You don't know what love is because you're a narcissist, rapper. Hey, y'all, I understand it. But think about this right here. In your definition of love, is there struggle? Is there abuse? Is there consistent pain coming from one side of the relationship? Abuse is not love, y'all. And so many people, I think, you get sucked into these dynamics where you might have grown up in the situation. You might have grown up in toxicity. You might have grown up within a toxic relationship dynamic and think that because, like, your mom and dad screamed at you, right? Like your mom and dad screamed at you, your grandparents might have screamed at you, your aunt and uncle might have screamed at you, beat on you, hit on you, mom and dad might have beat on you, hit on you, did whatever, right? And it's just like in that space right there, you see it. Like I said, in that space, you see it. Like you grew up in it. So because you grew up in it, you think this is love. Like, well, my partner beats me up, but my dad did the same thing. So my dad said he loved me. My dad said he hit me because he loved me. My dad said he screamed at me because he loved me. My dad said he held me down and harmed me because he loved me. So my partner's doing the same thing. So is this not love? So many people get the two conflated. Abuse is not love, y'all. You can absolutely become addicted to somebody because the back and forth, y'all, the hot and cold, the high highs and the really low lows of a toxic relationship get you addicted to the person. But again, y'all, I feel like you have to start telling yourself the truth to understand the dynamic that abuse is not love. It just isn't. Abuse is not love. You should not be crying yourself to sleep every single night. You should not be, like, when the person leaves you or breaks up with you, they shouldn't, like, cheat you out. For constant forgiveness of cheating is not love. Like, they will convince you that, they will convince you that you are being a ride or die person by consistently putting up with the stuff that they do to you. You know what I mean? They will consistently convince you that you're like, hey, you love, like, if you really love me, you'll give me another chance. They'll convince you that love is forgiveness for abuse. Love is forgiveness for doing the same thing over and over again and keep getting forgiven for the same thing over and over again. They'll convince you that that's what love is. Love, if you love me, you'll forgive me for this type of stuff. If you love me, you'll do this. If you love me, you'll do that. You know what I mean? They'll put it onto you to make it seem like you don't love them enough because you don't forgive them, but because you don't tolerate the abusive behaviors. And when you get out of the toxic relationship, you understand. You also sooner or later you get to the point where you realize you don't. Yeah, could you have loved them before? Yes, you probably could have loved them previously, but it's not the same type of love that you had for them when you first met them or you were first getting to know them. You know what I mean? That whole dynamic is completely different. That's a completely different dynamic, completely different, tie. So do you love this person? You might have loved them previously, but you don't have to hate them. I'm not saying that you have to hate them to be able to move on from them. You know what I mean? You don't have to hate them to be able to move on from them. You don't have to hate that person to be able to pick somebody else or to choose you. You don't have to hate them. You can love somebody from a distance, but I don't think you love them anymore. Like, especially when the relationship ends and you might be crying, begging, screaming, you might be blowing them up. I don't think you love them anymore. I think that you're addicted to them through the trauma bond. And ask yourself, is this love or is this abuse? And don't conflate the two, because like I said, a lot of people get stuck in these toxic relationships and conflate love and abuse because they were in a toxic abusive household when they were raised or something along those lines. You may. Don't conflate the two, because it can get very easy to conflate the two. It really, really can. So me personally, and ask yourself, I feel like you can agree with me to a certain extent as well, that you don't love the person anymore. You know what I mean? You could have loved them. You can have love for them. You know what I mean? But you don't have to, you might not necessarily love them anymore. You can have love for them, but you don't necessarily love them anymore. You know what I mean? And that's why I said so many people get caught up in these situations and these scenarios. Like, you can, like, so many, like, y'all, you can be in a good space, y'all. You can be in a better space. And yeah, when you get out of the toxic relationship, you're going to think you want them back because you love them. But addiction to a person is harder to kick sometimes, or can be harder to kick sometimes, than addiction to an actual drug. You know what I mean? I've talked to, when I do my one-on-ones over Zoom, I've talked to actual addicts that say, hey, look, I got off of, METH, and that was harder to kick than this toxic relationship. I'm 5 years sober, but getting into this toxic relationship and trying to break this addiction to this person sucks. It sucks worse because, like I said in the video, the drugs can't just show up to your house and tell you that they miss you and that they love you. The drugs can't just pop up on you and just say, hey, give me another chance. The drugs can't pop up on you and tell you everything that you've been wanting to hear or everything you feel like you need to hear from the person. You know what I mean? Drugs can't do that. People can. So that's why sometimes the addiction to a person can be harder to break than addiction to a drug. You know what I mean? But you can do it, though, y'all. You can do it. So many people are survivors and thrivers or narcissistic toxic abuse. You can be one of them, or you might already be one of them. You might already made it to this point right here. But I'm gonna cut this thing short, y'all. Ask yourself this question: do you still love the person, or are you addicted to them? Because love and abuse are not the same thing, y'all. And don't conflate the two. Just because you might have grew up around abuse, or you might have been around abuse and you see it, and you might subconsciously think that this is love. It's not, y'all. Power up. Take your power back. Be as strong as you possibly can. Like and subscribe for more. And as always, mental illness is out. Peace.